Recorded Books and RB Digital present Everywhere You Don't Belong by Gabriel Bump, narrated by Korey Jackson. Part 1, South Shore. Euclid Avenue. If there's one thing wrong with people, Paul always said, it's that no one remembers the shit that they should, and everyone remembers the shit that doesn't matter for shit. I remember Euclid Avenue. I remember yelling outside our window, coming in from the street. Grandma putting down her coffee. I remember Grandma holding my ankle, swinging my 2-year-old self out the front door, flipping me right side up, plopping me down next to the Hawaiian violets, plopping herself down next to me. I remember awe and disbelief. Dad was on the curb wrestling another man. He had the man's head, the man's life and soul, between his thighs. Upstairs, above our heads, Mom screamed for the men to stop, to regain their senses, civilize themselves. "Your friends," Mom yelled. "You go to church." "Say it again," Dad told the man. "I'm sorry," the man told Dad. "Sorry for what?" Dad asked the man. "Sorry for saying you look like Booker T. Washington," the man told Dad. Dad loosened his grip on the man. Chicago cops came speeding down our street before Dad's loafer could dislodge the man's teeth. "Gentlemen," Dad told the cops, after noticing me sitting there, applauding. "Not in front of my son." The cops shook their heads at this ridiculous black-on-black crime. "You're brothers," the cops said. "You're on the same side." The man on the ground stood up, brushed grass and dirt off his jeans, wiped his bloody and twisted nose on his torn shirt sleeve, adjusted his purple and blue floral tie, adjusted his large silver belt buckle. He stared at me, this man I hadn't seen before and would never see again. He had a sad face. On his tongue, something important and tragic, a forever buried secret. Then Paul ran out with a fireplace poker, with his robe open and his belly fat rippling. "That's it," Grandma said. "Enough culture for one day." No one pressed charges. When the cops came around asking, no one had seen anything. It never happened. Fog. Dad's friends hung out in places I couldn't go, on the other side of the tracks, down Jeffrey Avenue, deeper into South Shore. That's where Dad grew up, near the train stop to Indiana, across from the strip mall. That's where Dad's friends lived still, in apartments clustered near mass transportation, people always coming and going and waiting and never leaving. Mom was from the Highlands, a 3-block chunk of South Shore reserved for black doctors, black politicians, black bankers, and black lawyers, all the rich people too dark-skinned for the suburbs, too poor to live downtown. Dad's friends didn't come over often. In the 60s, when they were teenagers, Coach and Dad had tipped buckets. They snuck up and tipped buckets of fish in the harbor, hauling ass through the golf course before the guy in a Vienna beef uniform could catch them. That was when South Shore was still Jewish and Irish, before expressways and white flight and manicured suburbs. When the guy in a Vienna beef uniform caught Dad, he dangled Dad by his ankles over the harbor and promised to drown him. There was a moral to that story, but Dad was never sure what it was. Coach thought the moral was don't fuck with anybody in a Vienna beef uniform. When they were growing up, Harold Washington was mayor. The Jews and Irish were almost gone. A few stubborn old men refused to leave, clung to their porches until death, didn't care.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?